Storm Teaser 23 with Halle, Mary, and Patrick Stewart. Let's see what Film Royalty has to say about this and check this out.
Aurora Monroe, aka Storm, is without a doubt the most underrated character that deserves a solo film in the X-Men universe. Storm's origin is one that leaves a lot of space for a solo film, which makes us wonder, will we ever see such a project? Without further ado, let's go through a potential release date, mind-blowing theories, and of course, some surprising plot details about the first ever installment of Storm. Okay, in a world where sequels, prequels, threequels, remakes, and reboots prevail, a Storm solo project most certainly deserves a green light, don't you think so? Netflix is doing a reboot of Teletubbies, for God's sakes, and we're still waiting for one of the most underrated characters in the entire X-Men canon to be given its own movie. According to the most dedicated X-Men fans, Storm in the X-Men films is given really poor treatment, considering the great potential this character has. From what we've seen so far, Storm is just using her powers, and, well, she just stands there, making sure we know about her existence. Yes, I know we can't see a film about every friggin' character in live-action films, but come on! This is one of those characters that became more and more important throughout the films she appeared in, and it's time for her to be given a deeper background. Halle Berry needs to do her comeback as soon as possible. Now, let's dive into the origin of Aurora Monroe. As some of you might know, this is one of the original X-Men, who made her first appearance in the giant-size X-Men #1 issue back in May 1975. Yeah, you heard that right. Way back in 1975. Aurora is actually a member of an ancient line of African priestesses, who all have white hair, blue eyes, and the ability to use magic. As for her parents, well, the story here is heartbreaking, just like the parents' story with every other hero. In the original story, we discover that her mother and father were killed after a bombing in an Arab-Israeli conflict, after a plane crashed into their home. Sadly, you'll only know this if you're a fan of the comics. This is because the films have paid no attention to the character's origin. The creators of the movies didn't even bother to show how she became one of the teachers at Charles Xavier's School of the Gifted. If a Storm solo film is given a green light, it could change the X-Men narrative completely, focusing on magic, a subject not so popular in the X-Men universe. Superhero films rarely focus on such things. Before we continue, I wanted to know, what do you think of a possible X-Men spin-off film about Storm? Is this a good idea for the MCU? Let us know in the comments below. Now, I know some of you might get the wrong impression after I say this, but Storm could easily become a diverse film without it appearing to be forced to include diversity. It would feel natural, don't you agree? But let's take a look at Guardians of the Galaxy. This film practically took the world by storm. So why was it so successful and popular? Because of the new, unique plot. We all felt like we were watching something original while following the adventures of a sarcastic raccoon and a talking tree. The same goes for Storm. She could easily create something unique, something we never saw in the Marvel Universe. Another thing fans are angry about is the zero character development given to Storm in the already released movies. Some fans even say that they don't even remember that she was in these movies. I don't know about this one, but one thing I'm sure about is that this character deserved way more than she was given. Yes, she was a key role in the films, but it just looks like the directors of the movies created the story about this character over a Zoom call. As mentioned before, the creators wanted us to know that she has powers, and that's it. Yes, she can shoot thunder out of her fingertips, but what about her life in Cairo, Egypt? What about her parents? What about her life following the tragic death of her parents? What was her life like as an orphan? Luckily, a film about Storm seems guaranteed. And it's just a matter of time until Marvel comes up with an official confirmation and a green light. By the way, Marvel already confirmed that it's time for you to smash the like button if you haven't done it already. Okay, seriously. Halle Berry is an Oscar winner who won an Academy Award for Best Actress, and she has appeared in 9 of the 13 X-Men movies to date. 10 if we include her cameo of Aurora as a child that was featured in the X-Men Origins Wolverine home video release. With so many appearances, one could argue that it's time for Aurora Monroe to be given the chance to make a better impression. Despite her dedication to the character, despite her being one of the most talented actresses in Hollywood, and despite the great potential of the character, Storm receives poor treatment continually. And since sequels and prequels are now a thing in Hollywood, we don't understand what's stopping Marvel from giving a green light to a solo Storm movie. The younger version of the character was given poor treatment as well, with the amazingly talented Alexandra Shipp given zero character development. Over the years, there have been some rumors about Storm's solo film being under development. In fact, the most recent rumors suggest that Marvel Studios are already working on rebooting her as the lead role of a solo adventure. The reports additionally reveal the title of the film being Marvel's Storm, which is a bit weird because, so far, Marvel didn't have to put the name of the company in any of its previous titles. Why do you think there's a Marvel in the title of the potential Storm spin-off? The most important thing is that this character would definitely do a better job than the X-Men reboot. In some earlier reports, Storm was rumored to debut in the Black Panther franchise. She would have made her debut in the storyline where she becomes T'Challa's love interest and eventual wife. Sadly, this won't happen, although fans are quite into the idea. Storm could easily make her debut in Black Panther 2, and thus she could be given a proper background. The fact that she is African-American, the daughter of David Monroe, and was even born in Harlem, proves that she would make a great addition to Black Panther. But she is also Kenyan, the daughter of Nadare, and as mentioned before, she spends her childhood in Cairo, Egypt. As a teen, she struggled a lot, going through an entire continent until she arrived at her mother's homeland. The character has more than enough backstory for a movie to fulfill our high expectations. The most important thing, however, is that she needs to be given more depth than she ever had in the X-Men movies. When her parents were killed and she was trapped in the rubble, Storm's severe claustrophobia was born. Although she managed to overcome most of her fears, she lived as an orphan for most of her youth. She basically spent most of her time on the streets, and this leads her to joining a group of children that steal for Ahmed El-Jabbar. Ahmed is, in fact, the person that taught her how to pick locks and pockets. He also took care of her. Per a report by Marvel, you need to smash that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. Gotcha twice. Alright, but seriously now. The story of this character takes an interesting turn when she tries to go through the pockets of a young Professor X. This happens before his first battle with the Shadow King. This is when she stole the rare ruby and ended up killing a man who tried to abuse her. Following this, she left Cairo behind and started roaming North Africa. This is when her powers started developing. Before she joined X-Men, she used her powers to protect small villages, which led to her meeting T'Challa. They fell in love before she had to move. So yeah, there's a lot of background on Storm that needs to be used. See you in the next video.
For life, this video, great night. See you guys tomorrow.